Hi guys, so this is our garden. This is the one part of our yard that is not dig proof. So this fence line, we have not buried wire under the fence to keep things from getting out. The reason is we have this fence to protect this area so the mink can't get into it. The reason we didn't bury wire along here is we wouldn't be able to plant next to the fence because the wire would prevent us from doing so. So we couldn't protect this section of our yard, and rats have been burrowing in and eating our tomatoes. Show you right here some of the damage they've done. See, they've been eating this tomato, and I've set some traps to catch them, and this particular rat refuses to be caught. So if you see right here, this is the neighbor's yard. This is where the rats have been digging in, going under the fence and eating our tomatoes. See, there's another hole, and I've covered these holes with gravel, if you see the gravel around, and they just keep digging back in. I've caught several rats with a live trap, but it's obviously there are some survivors who've avoided the traps. So today I'm going to show you a special trap design for catching sneaky little animals. So this trap is going to be specifically made for a rat, but it can also be used for small birds. The idea is to catch animals that won't enter a trap. They like to walk around the outside of the trap and steal bait, but not enter the trap because they're just clever. They've either been trapped before, or they're just a nervous individual animal, or maybe nervous by nature for the species. So most cage traps are made requiring the animal to actually walk in the trap and be somewhere near the middle or the end of the trap for them to trigger it so the door's shut. So if they don't go all the way inside the trap, they're not going to get caught. This trap, it's designed so the rat or the bird or whatever you're trying to catch can be on the outside of the trap looking in and still trigger it and get flung inside the trap. So I'll show you how to make this. I find it very useful for those tricky individual animals that just won't be caught in other conventional live traps. So today I'm going to be using 1 inch by 1/2 inch 16 gauge welded wire. Reason I'm using that instead of this cheaper and more easily available what they call hardware cloth is this stuff, the hardware cloth, is flimsy. Doesn't hold its shape as well. It bends really easy. It's not going to work. You need something sturdier like this stuff. The 16 gauge 1 inch by 1/2 inch welded wire. It's small enough to hold small animals like a little baby rat or a house sparrow, but it's sturdy enough that it holds its shape, and a big rat's not going to push out of it as easily as if you use this stuff. So I'm going to start out with a strip of 40 inch by 6 inch welded wire, and I'm going to bend it into a little, put some corners on it with good strong right angles, and we're going to make a little cube out of it. This cube measures 1 foot or 12 inches by 8 inches. We're going to bend that together, which I've obviously already done that, and then I'm going to connect those. You can use a strip of tie wire and bend it over. That's really kind of sharp and ugly. You want to use these little hog rings to attach them if you can find them. They're on Amazon. They're real strong and sturdy, and they don't leave sharp edges like if you use tie wire. If you don't have access to or don't feel like buying hog rings, you can use tie wire. Just realize it's going to leave a sharp edge, so it's up to you. So I'm just going to use the hog rings to attach the edge here.
What are you doing, Daddy?
I'm building a rat trap.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to crimp this together here.
It's for rats.
It's for rats, yeah.
Yeah, oh. That one's doing a feet. That is for me. Is it in there?
Yeah, that one's for mink.
Oh.
This one's for rats.
Oh.
Okay, so now I have a little cube. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the back on it, and this fits exactly to that cube. So 12 inches wide by 8 inches tall.
Daddy, make it wrap into a box.
Yeah.
This is fit, okay, Daddy?
Okay.
Ah, the flies are itchy. I want to get enough to with Daddy. How would it work?
I'll show you. You guys are all interested in my trap, huh?
Yeah.
So you see I've got this, I've got the back on here. And now it's got all sides except for the front. Now the front is totally open. So this piece is larger than the back by 1 inch on the top and 1 inch on each side. So we're going to be talking, instead of it being 12 inches wide, it's 14 inches wide. Instead of it being 8 inches like the box, it's 9 inches tall. And so what that does is it gives us here a little overlap on the top and on the sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this as the door. And the door is going to be on the ground. And when the rat comes in, boom, it snaps and throws the rat inside the trap, or bird, or whatever it is you're trying to catch. So they don't have to be entering the trap at all. They can stand outside the trap, try and be sneaky and snatch some bait. And when they do it, boom, it throws them inside. And what we're going to use as the spring mechanism is a simple rat trap. Now you can make a much smaller version of this using a mouse trap. It works great for little birds like house sparrows or little rodents like mice or voles. But if you want to catch something bigger like a squirrel, rat, pigeon, things like that, you're going to need a bigger trap for a bigger spring. And I just use a conventional rat trap. I prefer the kind with this big yellow flap. Oftentimes it's shaped like cheese with holes in it. Doesn't really matter. It needs to be a big yellow flap rather than the little metal triggers that you often see these come with. These flaps will make it so it's easier for the animal to accidentally trigger the trap and get flung inside. Okay, so the trigger is going to be just inside the trap, and we're going to be putting the edge of the wire right where this spring goes here, and this is exactly in the middle. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this door and we're going to cut this door so that it'll slide right down over that trap. So if we measure it out here, this trap is exactly in the middle of the cage. So that means we're going to need to cut. Can you hold this, Ellie? Please don't play with that, Ellie.
Daddy, what's that animal?
I'm going to snip a little wire here.
Those beavers are at the end. And together.
There we go. Okay, thank you.
Then next. Okay, Daddy?
Okay, Galilee. Okay. So now I'm going to cut this wire right here along the bottom. So I snipped on either side of the rat trap, and I'm just going to cut this stuff a little bit short.
Daddy, can you cut these parts? These sharp parts?
No, not yet. Okay, so this should allow the rat trap to sit under the door, and if it doesn't, then I'll trim it a little shorter. This should slide right in here, and the door should be able to be attached. And as you see, it's not doing that, so I need to cut these little spikes even shorter. I had them too long. Okay, let's try again. Okay, we put the door on and it fits just right. Perfect. So now we are going to attach the door.
Daddy, Mr. Daddy. Dad, come on. It's starting to rain, Daddy.
Yep. Okay, so now I've attached the door. I've attached the door to the cage. Right here, you see, it opens and shuts, and the trap's there in the middle. Now I need to attach the trap to the bottom of the cage. I also need to attach this snapping part of the trap to the cage as well. Okay, so the kill bar on the trap is now attached to the door. The door is now attached to the frame. Now I just need to attach the trap itself to the bottom of the cage. So I'm going to attach that trap using a little bit of tie wire. I'm going to cut a longer strand than I think I need, because I'd rather just cut off the ends than to be stuck without enough. So I'm going to put this tie wire, slide it right in here.
That's good.
You want to wire it nice and tight. Okay, so I've wired this nice and tight to the bottom of the trap. You could also, if you wanted to, you could drill a hole through it and do it that way. I don't think it matters. If it does end up mattering, then I'll do it that way. But so far, looks like it'll be just fine wiring it this way. Tap down that little sharp piece flat. There we go. Now it's all set up. We'll see if we need to do any trimming. But you'll set the trap just like you normally would. You just put the little kill bar in there. And there you go, you got the trap set. If a little rat comes by and tries to steal the bait, the door flings shut. And you see, he sets off the trigger and the trap flings him inside the trap. And the beauty of this trap is the rat doesn't have to be inside the trap at all. He could be thinking he's being sneaky and stealing the bait, and it flings him inside the trap without him taking more than one little cautionary step inside the trap. Now obviously, if you leave it all exposed, you'll catch some sneaky rats, but others will be afraid to even step foot on this door. So what you want to do is bury the door so that it looks completely invisible, and we'll show you how that's done. We're going to bury the bottom of the trap so that it looks like the rest of the dirt around it. Okay, so as you see here, I've got bait all around the little tread plate. The door is completely covered with dirt. The back of the bottom of the trap's completely covered with dirt. As far as the rat's concerned, he's just walking on regular dirt. And when he comes over here, boom, he'll trigger the trap and get flung in. So we'll leave this set and see what we catch. It's the first night this trap has been set. And we've been trying to catch this thing for weeks. And boom, immediate success. Even the tricky rats get trapped with this sucker. Not gonna say it'll catch all rats. I don't think anything will catch all rats. They are sneaky little suckers, but this one takes advantage of their sneakiness because they don't think they're in the trap, and boom, they get thrown right in it. Yeah, you think you're sneaky? You're not sneaky enough. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the video. YouTube has been tightening down on their censorship. I in fact just barely got a strike for a video that I thought was totally fine. But nope, they gave me a strike, took it down, and you guys are never gonna see it. So what happens to that and many other videos that I already know are gonna get a strike, so I don't even try and put up on YouTube? Well, they go on my Mink Man's exclusive club. This club allows me to show videos that I never could show on YouTube. So if you guys feel like you're missing out seeing these little clips, well, you really are. I'll post whatever I can here on YouTube, but the rest is going to be going to my exclusive club. So just click on the link in the description below and find out what you're missing.